Good morning, Pokemon players. We are here today with today's Monday Shiny Collection update, and I'm a little excited to share what we found this week, especially considering that I wasn't really expecting to get much this week. But fortunately, thanks to the Hatcher on Sword and Shield, as well as a little bit of finds in Pokemon Go, some remote trades in Go, since Go is verified to basically be non-hacked Pokemon specifically, I can go ahead and take advantage of that resource to try and get the remotes in. We got a fair chunk of stuff. To start off, we did get Solgaleo and Palkia. Palkia I got in a remote trade. Solgaleo I got in a raid that I believe I actually hosted that one that I got the shiny in. So that was cool. Let's see. I got the Rhyperior line is completed. I actually got that one on the Hatcher. We got all of the male, so the female Rhydon and Rhyperior I already had, but then I needed the male line, so we got the Rhyhorn, Rhydon, and Rhyperior all queued up, ready to go and filled in Pokemon Go now. There was also the Psyduck and Golduck. I realized that I had missed Psyduck and Golduck from the time that... Where'd you go? There you are. From the time that those were in the event raids, I realized I missed them last week, but I did manage to go ahead and get them and filled them in and put them in, caught them in Scarlet and Violet. So that was nice. We got other things in Go. We got Volbeat, Unknown L, Roselia, and a Palossand. My wife got the Palossand in Pokemon Go. So those are sitting on Go, waiting for the transfer, having all of that ready to run. What else? There was a Tyranitar note that I had. I believe that one is in Go, not in... Oh, no, I did actually get that one transferred over. So the Tyranitar did get transferred over from Go. So that is also covered. Which, yes, it's level 10 because you can evolve things at ridiculously low levels in Go. But that's kind of cool now that I've got that covered in there. We also got the Yamper line and both Indeedees thanks to Scarlet and Violet hatching Pokemon for me. There's the Yamper and the Boltund. And then the Indeedee, I have the male here. The female is over in a separate box where the female Pokemon are stored that when there's gender variants. So that's a lot of stuff that we managed to get our hands on this week. Overall, a pretty good run of things. Now, as for our numbers, we got 788 stored in home now for our shiny collection. That is actually up 15 from last week. Now, some of that does include things that moved from Go into home, but I am happy to report that we also have 888 Pokemon total when you account for things that me and my wife have on Go, waiting for transfer. So that's a nice little thing we got going on. As far as raids in Go, right now Solgaleo is out there, and I'm looking at Leaf Duck. I don't see Leaf Duck having anything any other stuff in there. I don't need Palkia anymore, so those shadow raids I don't need to hunt. I see that there's a super mega raid coming for Starmie, but I don't necessarily need shiny Starmie. The only reason I would do those super mega raids is to get some mega energy in order to actually be able to mega evolve Starmie in Go, which I do have 4-star Starmie in Go. Not that I'm really I don't care that much about 4 stars in Go. I'm more using it for the shiny collection. It's just kind of a nice little thing that's coming up on, that's actually a ways away, August 22nd. So yeah, that's almost a full month. Never mind then. But anyway, that's the stuff that we got here. So we gained a total of 16 shinies across our entire collection, and gained 15 in Pokemon Home. So overall, we got a little bit more in Go than we filled in Home, but we got a lot of cool stuff filled in here at the very least. All of that aside, we got the Rhyhorn, Rhydon. The Rhyperior is also going to be floating around here. Something else that I did also find. This one was a little bit of a transplant. So during some previous shiny hunts, during the week, I had gotten a shiny Lotad, and I was on the fence of whether I needed it or not. Because I had to double check according to what I had on Go and what I had already in Home. So I already had shiny Lotad in Home, and I have shiny female Ludicolo, which is a gender difference in the form. So then I checked Go, and I actually had a male Lombre and Ludicolo in Go. So I went and took that Lotad, evolved it, and filled it into the home collection, and now the Lombre that I had on Go is set aside for remote trades because I can let somebody else go and claim that one. The Ludicolo is still on Go waiting for transfer, but sometimes we get those things where we get a shiny that's technically a duplicate of something I have on standby, but because it's easier to access, easier to move around, I don't need to wait for Go to get that transporter energy in order to send it, since now I do have, like I said, another 2 legendaries on Go to transfer over, along with a fair chunk of other legendaries. If I'm not mistaken, we did get the 4 Tapus and some Ultra Beasts in Go that still need to move. If I'm not mistaken, I think I might have actually gotten the Ultra Beast moved. I don't recall off the top of my head. Oh wait, no, Stakataka. I believe I did get the shiny Stakataka, or was it the Stakataka? I got something, but I think it was the Stakataka that needs to go ahead and get moved over eventually, if I recall correctly about having it. Let me just double check. Control F. Staka. Yes, I do have the Stakataka on Go, but now I also have those other 2 legendaries that need to transfer over. So, it is what it is. We got stuff to do. We got things to go ahead and wait for the transporter energy to finish up. So maybe I'll have another legendary from Go sent over to home to go ahead and fill out that dex a little bit while we keep waiting for that energy to recharge. Thanks again, everybody that tuned in. I don't have a lot of stuff for upcoming things. Like, I took a peek at Leak Duck. They don't have a thing loading up showing what the next wave of raids is. I think they got a little flooded because of the Go Fest and the Go Fest Makeup Day, where a lot of their things, like their queue of upcoming events, got filled with that completely. But currently, I do have the Hatcher queued up on the Shield version, running. What was it? It was the Dreepy line. I'm hatching Dreepies over there, which I don't recall having any yet. Dreepy. Yeah, I don't have any of that line. So basically that Hatcher's going to be running until I get 3 shiny Dreepies so that I can fill the Dragapult line. And then maybe once I have that, I might actually be able to go ahead and use the Dragapult in Pokemon Champions, because I have been making a point of it to only use full shiny teams from this collection on Champions, at least the little bit of Champions that I do play. I haven't been going super hard on it, but I have all these shinies. I can transfer them into Champions without having to mess up the sorting boxes here. So it's just kind of a cool thing being able to have that flexibility and have basically any team I want almost completely shiny available. I feel like it's just kind of a fun little flex. And no, none of the Pokemon are hacked here. They're all legitimate catches between Go and multiple games between both myself and my wife. So this collection is coming right along. We are at, again, 888 total, with 788 already stored in home out of the 1,200 plus distinct forms that there's supposed to be once you account for the entire Pokedex and all the forms. 1318 I think is the complete number of forms, with of course a handful of Pokemon that are unobtainable among some shiny mythicals and other limited release things like the Eternal Flower Floette and things like that. But yeah, out of a little over 1,300 Pokemon, we have almost 900, and hopefully by next week, if I can put in just a little bit of effort, maybe I will break that maybe I'll break both the 800 on home and the 900 total if I can go ahead and get just a little bit of a push before next week, which that may be possible because I do have some time off work coming up after my next few days, although it is going to be filled up with recording to go ahead and get Reciteer caught up and mostly finished out, with also the Fields of Mystria full release. So I do have a new Fields of Mystria series planned. Once that 1.0 release comes for the game, I'm going to be going hard on getting recording, and maybe not daily episodes, but at least 2 or 3 weekly episodes of Fields of Mystria to go ahead and follow through, go for a total completion run with a lot of like I want to try and get a lot of completion criteria finished in Mystria while go ahead and appreciating that new release. And maybe I can kind of challenge myself a little bit, get the skills going and all that. I would like to, now I know this has nothing to do with Pokemon, but for any of you that are looking forward to those other series, I would like to try and push Mystria to actually complete the museum this time. I did fall short of completing the museum on my last run because I started getting some game crashes that were, I think, just some stability things, but with their new engine that they put up, hopefully the stability issues are resolved for the most part. Getting everybody's gift layouts completely filled in, which is going to take a lot of conversations with Elsie in there. I also need to settle on the character voices I want to use that hopefully won't blow out my throat every time I go to record. So we have that because I am not exactly a trained voice actor. I just like to have fun and do some silly voices sometimes. So again, thanks everybody that's been tuning in. Be sure to check out the other series, Judging by the Cover. Following up this next month, we are going to be looking at free-to-play games. Now, just because they are free-to-play does not mean that I'm going to be downloading and trying them out before I review them, because we are still reviewing games based on how they are presented in the online marketplace. Anything else having to do with them, we will be judging purely by what they present, how it looks like they monetize it, and that kind of stuff going on. I do have a couple of them already planned for what I'm going to be looking at, and I am still looking for, maybe some recommendations or some things for the last 3 weeks of August. I have the first 2 weeks picked out already, but the last 3 weeks we have something, and I'm still looking on the fence for some kind of a theme for September before we go into a total mindfuck month for October as far as Judging by the Cover goes. So once again, thanks for tuning in. This is our shiny Pokemon collection that we've been going. I am particularly proud of all the progress that we have made since we started this series, because if I go ahead and look all the way back here, all the way back on my little thing here, we started at a total of 412. Oh, wow, really? We started at 412 in home, about 5 months ago. We started at 412 and a total of 655, and we have since reached the 888 total. So, in those 5 months, we managed to go ahead and crank out over 200 shinies to round out the collection as we got this organized and ready to go. So just let it be known that if you are wanting to put out a collection like this, yes, it does take multiple games in order to do it yourself. But depending on what resources you have and how much time you can put into it, you can absolutely crank some stuff out here if you keep your eyes out for events. I am looking forward to the Nickit Community Day for Pokemon Go. I know that's sometime next month, because that's another 2 shinies that I'm going to be able to get without having to go and hatch them or hunt them in Sword and Shield. So, a lot easier that way. Now, everybody else out there, keep up your hunts. Let me know what you guys are going after. I'd like to see what things, what kind of success stories you guys have, or if you have any tragedies, like a Pokemon that went and knocked itself out. I will say, when I was hunting the Psyduck, I did accidentally start a picnic as when a blue Psyduck appeared. I meant to go into the menu and save, but instead of the R trigger, I pushed the A button, which was hovering over the picnic button in the menu, and I ended up starting a picnic and causing that Psyduck to despawn. But fortunately, because of sandwiches and outbreaks and the 60 KO method, I did manage to just go ahead and keep recycling those spawns until another one came up. So be careful out there when you do see them. Remember to save your game, and also be aware of Pokemon that might have self KO or recoil moves that might screw up a shiny hunt. That is all. Have a beautiful week, everybody, and I will see you next week.